Okay, here we go. Do I get excited about self-care? Absolutely. Why? Because we're talking about a pyramid of body, mind, and heart, or soul, or spirit, whatever you want to call this part, working and functioning efficiently. There's nothing more efficient than having a body that is mobilized, a heart that is engaged, and a mind that is focused. This creates this circularity that just feeds everything and is the most efficient, the research shows, the most efficient way for us to be on the planet, to have the peace, the joy, the vitality, the intimacy, the prosperity. So today we're going to talk about the body. Love talking about the body, and I also want to tie in motivation if we can do it. Let's give it a go. So when we're talking about the body, we want to be talking about some very simple elements. And by the way, you consult your doctor. I am not preaching to you to do anything in terms of what your that it goes against what your doctors have suggested or your psychologist have suggested. I'm just saying to you, generally speaking, these are the things that we need to keep in mind, and I want you to be discerning and smart and generative about what I'm sharing with you. Generative just means that you want to be you want to take this in and really see how it fits into your life. So one of the things that we need to talk about right away is about movement, right? We need to be able to move the body. Now, how much and how little is going to be up to you, but we know from the research 20 minutes of just a good, crisp walk 3 times a week is actually one of the best things anybody could do for their whole system. It is proven hands down good for all 3 systems. You get outside, hopefully you're outside, you're getting to engage with people and nature, you're mobilizing the enkephalins, endorphins. If you're just starting out, you need to think about movement from a simple 3 times a week, 20 minutes, all the way up to like an intense cardio, but when you're ready. Like I love hockey, and hockey is very intense, or a high intensity workout. So you have to think about that. We're covering the highlights here, right? You need to think about food and nutrition, right? We know that the standard American diet is like the standard Canadian diet, is that if we're living on sugar and we're living on processed flours and we're living on too much protein and too much of sugar, of coffee and dairy and whatnot, we know that the system doesn't function very well like that. So we know that 80% of our diet needs to be fruit, needs to be vegetables and salads and cooked vegetables as well as raw, right? We need to have both of those things. We need to have good vitamins, right? This is all stuff that vitamins and minerals, right? We need to be able to be smart about that, get a good brand and be able to take things that are useful for us. We need to also make sure that we have really good sleep habits and sleep routines, sleep patterns. It's just proving to be absolutely crucial for our health. A lot of people are getting good sleep, but they're not getting deep sleep, deep rest. Big difference. So we need 7.5 hours here. We need 80% food that is green here, whether you're a vegetarian or not, that's up to you. There's all sorts of reasons for that, but you just want to have, whether it be nuts and tofu, or you want to have fish and chicken on top of that, that's up to you. We know that the movement is there. We know that the vitamins and minerals, check with your doctor, check with your healthcare practitioner. Sleep has to be that for the metabolic shower. We need at least that on an average. We need to, if that's not working well, then we need to find a better evening routine, turning off the screens, an hour or 2 hours beforehand, reading or listening a story, but calming down generally, after dinner. We need to, you need a good healthy amount of water and temperature of the water. Like we know that, just like if we're warming up the temperature in the ocean, it upsets the balance of a whole bunch of planktons and fish and all sorts of healthy microorganisms, is that what we call them? Yeah, small little phyto and whatnot. We also know that we can do the same thing in our body. If we're drinking too much cold water, we're actually upsetting the whole biodome, and there are also the inflammation in our system. So we need to make sure that we have recovery time, right? We need to know that we have time in nature, right? This is all really good things, and we want to mimic nature, right? These are all things. I'm covering what you already know, right? Isn't that right? You already know this. So this is a good thing. You guys have got this. I want you to just take this and just be really smart. I want to say start slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Gradually start to build with consulting your doctor and or nutritionist and or your, like, don't give up everything all at once. You need to go gradually. Like, be smart, people, right? You know, you got this. Okay, I want to talk about motivation. I am so excited about this. This is a good way to understand this. I'm going to see if this is going to work for me by putting, this is my new system. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so here we go. Motivation. Sometimes we can't get to the gym because we're doing it all on our own. Sometimes we can't get to the gym because we need to think deeper than that. So we want to think, we can put, okay, the reasons why people don't get motivated are these three reasons, okay? The top one is we're not clear about our why, okay? And then what would that then give us if we were on track with that, right? We're not clear about what we want out of life. We want a healthy body, mind, soul. We want, why? Because we want to be that person in the village. We want to be that elder. If we're going into instead of an older, we want to be an elder. We want to be that person in the village that responds to the meaningful need around environment. We want to be that wise person that really has something to share with people when they're in trouble with their health or their psychology. And so sometimes we're not clear about what it is that we want, and that makes for not enough motivation, right? These are the things that can make it go one way or another. It the motivation can be dialed up or it can be dialed down. The why, we're not clear about, okay, well, why do we want to be an elder in the village that's really healthy, that's supporting the local people? Well, why? Because that gives me joy. That's me on purpose, and that's me that's how I am built. I'm built to do that, and that's what really matters for me. So sometimes the motivation is a matter of the vision isn't exalted enough. Yeah, we have to dig to keep our feet on the ground and deliver that vision, but sometimes we need to really be clear about upgrading the why, and then we can see what the what is after that, and then we start to see, well, how can I get there? What kind of vehicle, as my teacher said, what kind of vehicle do we need to be able to deliver that? And the vehicle can be a fancy Ferrari, or it could be a Volkswagen, it could be a Hummer, it could be anything, right? And the vehicle is really code for body, mind, soul system. What do you need to deliver that? You need mind training, you need body training, you need soul training, right? So I hope that's helpful. These things you get clear about, what it is that you really want and why it is that you want, like 10X's. Well, why else is it that you want to be the elder in the village, or you want to be that health professional, or you want to be that business person? Why else is that important to you? And then your how will determine sometimes then, okay, I need to get in really good shape for this because this is going to take 20 years to deliver. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.